What's up, people? We are back with more SC2VN. We're celebrating the fact that our team is basically complete, considering that Axel is most likely going to be our coach, and that there are only going to be harder days upon us from now on, because obviously the thing that we're going to do after tonight, because tonight is all fun, but after that it's going to be hard work and practice and dedication. So yeah, I believe we were in the middle of a drinking game called Chopsticks, and I actually think we still have two questions to ask the two people, and I'm pretty sure we know which one either one of these is. We're gonna tease Stunt as the last person, so which one of us is most likely to bang a fan? Rushing right out of the gate, are we? You're supposed to do a few warm-up questions before you get to the raunchy stuff. You say that only because you know you're going to lose this one. Despite finding himself staring down 4 pairs of chopsticks, Axel never loses his easygoing smile. I freely admit I've slept with one of my fans before. This question is more like winning than losing. Anyways, since I'm not a lech, what's a lech? Do you have a story to go along with it? Pretty much what you'd expect. This one girl used to show up to all my Brood War matches. She cheered for me, brought gifts, and led the fan chants. Managed my fan club too. I was knocked out of a Star League pretty early a few years back. She was the only person that showed up to my meet and greet afterwards, of course. You're sad and vulnerable, and then bam, she pounces on you like a hyena. I asked her if she'd like to go to dinner, and she said yes. It went from there. We dated for more than a year. Had to break it off because she went abroad for her university. Now you've got me feeling nostalgic. Thanks, Mach. Or Mach. I was doing so well. What a beautiful story. It's hard to tell if the complete lack of emotion in Reva's voice is intentional. I know those kinds of fans. They're always like, oh, when I imagine him practicing all day, my heart aches and I want to make him hot soups. Literally no one has ever said or ever will say that. They're gonna be saying it when I take my place as the Protoss, god of the universe or something. A well-timed hiccup stops Stunt in his tracks. He laughs obnoxiously when his head hits the table. Someone should really confiscate this kid's fake ID? Here we go, Stunt. Now, which one of us is most likely still a virgin? Before he can even react, Axel, Jet, and I point our chopsticks in Stunt's direction. He jumps in his seat, aghast. He senses weakness in Reva and aims his answer towards her, only to have her repay the favor. This is bullshit! Calm down, you're like what? 12? You guys have no idea. I'm a player, you hear me? This guy, man. Doubtful. You were hanging out with middle schoolers at a PC bang when I found you. Be honest with us. Stunt scrunches up his face, allowing his rage to stew momentarily before busting out with another protest. This is a rigged question. You all have like at least 4 years of extra time to luck out. Virginity confirmed. Drink. Oh, cut the kid some slack. It'd be kinda weird if he wasn't. A breach of trust, unethically unsound, harassment on an unreasonable scale. He makes a box on the table with his fingers, continuing his exaggerated and antiquated protests all the while. This is a no bullying area. If you enter the DMZ, I will retaliate with full force. We finish out our game of chopsticks with a slew of highly inappropriate questions and equally bold answers. I must say about Stunt, like, even though he's this young, immature kid that acts cocky most of the time, he's still somewhat of a funny character. I like soju way more in my stomach than on my lips, though I'm not sure I'll feel the same way in the morning. Our celebration goes late into the night, long enough that we're practically the only patrons left. A tendril of drool collects at the corner of an unconscious Stunt's lip. Reva's eyes are unfocused behind her glasses. But while there's a bit of extra to Axel's typical grin, both he and Jet look as collected as ever. Dude, it's late. Axel pulls the phone out of Stunt's pocket and checks the time. Oh, it is. He then replaces the expensive-looking electronic on the young Protoss player's head. Jet, the next time you travel for a European tournament, make sure you show up to the after party. Say what you will about their play, but those guys know how to have a good time. Pass. I go for easy prize money, not discotheque with Lars and Jürgen. Lars, Jürgen, typical Scandinavian names. You guys ready to leave? Yeah. Should. If we don't want to wake up after noon. This is the worst part of every night out. How the hell are we supposed to get Stunt home? Don't forget, Jet. The bill is all yours. Ah, why'd you remind me? I can hail a cab for Stunt, I guess. Thank you for treating us to dinner, Jet. Now there's a Terran that knows how to man her up. It's probably because she can play Zerg. Take note, boys. Reva, you alright? Need any help getting home? Oh, I would not mind assisting. Denied. You're on your own, Mach. Need to talk team business with Reva. Oh, right then. Of course the girls want to stick together. I'm out. Stuff to do. Later, team. With a salute, Axel makes his way out of the bar. I'm left to wake up Stunt while Jet speaks hushedly to Reva. Kid, wake up! I'm taking you home. What? I brace myself and after pocketing Stunt's phone off of his head, heave him onto his feet. He's light, which makes the effort easier than I was expecting. Jet calls after me as we go. Don't dump it in an alley. We need a Protoss. Yeah. I practically carry Stunt outside, offering the bar's patrons and staff a shameless smile as I make my way through the doorway. It doesn't take much effort to hail a cab and pitch the underage drinker inside. Once I've made room for myself, I climb in and close the door. Are we gonna be on like taxi confessions? I'm pretty sure there are like TV shows like that where they just pretty much capture drunk people inside of a taxi and they just record it and they the cab driver asks them silly questions and hope to get them to confess to some weird thing like murder or something, and then it'll be broadcasted on TV. Yay! I wake to the taste of stale soju on my breath. My apartment is mostly dark, save the crack of light coming through my window. Oh, that crack of light is the worst. Like, I have it too, yeah? I sleep across of my window, and that crack of light every single morning, it's like this tiny, but it always manages to catch me bam smack in the face. It's ridiculous. Like the accuracy from the sun, which is I don't know how many billion miles away, is so dang accurate. It takes a great deal of effort to dredge myself out of bed, but the need to rinse my mouth is enough motivation. The first time I ever drank too much, I swore to myself I'd never touch alcohol again. Yeah, everyone says that. Even if that was a pledge, I knew that I wouldn't keep. It seems like I won't get another chance to for a while now. Well, at least until there's a trophy in our team house. Without any idea where Stunt's house was, I had the cab drop him off at the stomping grounds. The last thing I remember was a capable glare of killing small animals from his mother. I return from the sink with a glass of water and fall into my computer chair. It's too early for ladder, but I might see what's going on. Wait a second, what? Oh my god, Axel, what did you do? VIP, MVP, MIA? Every StarCraft fansite is abuzz with the news that Jet and Axel are ditching their teams. Accusations of collusion, conspiracy, and corruption abound among Korean and Western fans alike. What ace blasts off to new squad? Crash coach claims poach. Do they really have to make everything rhyme? A laundry list of the Crash coach's missteps ranks second to an interview where he shifts the blame onto Axel, with the scent of drama in the air. Debate rages wildly on both sides. When Axel said he had a better idea in mind, I had no idea he meant something like this. Jet's new team is the talk of the entire StarCraft community. That's the thing though, I mean, he is using this in a good way, right? To get our team, which is relatively unknown, like sure it has one good player and one MVP player in a sense as a coach as well, but the larger part of our team is quite unknown, right? Which is Stunt, myself, and Reva. So this is sort of a good publicity stunt, but it can sort of, you know, it's a good thing to have people to pay attention to us, but then our results have to speak for themselves, because if we then get shitty results and be like, yeah, well, look at what they did, and then it resulted into last place every single time, and then blah blah blah, and then the hate will be even worse than it is now. Like now people are talking about us, but it's evenly on both sides. So we need to make the people that are in favor of us, make them even better, more of our fans, and the people that sort of are against us, try and persuade them into becoming our fans by winning. I rush into the game client, abusing the login button with a dozen clicks a second until I'm finally in. That'd be the only time for me personally that I would get 300 APM. I'd be like, log in, damn it, log in! Axel is online, as is the rest of our team. Before I can even open a chat window, an invite from Jet throws me into an underway group conversation. Text messages appear almost as quickly as I can read them. What the hell is wrong with you? Hey, relax. You know what they say about publicity? Yeah, there's no such thing as bad publicity. LOL. Holy shit, dude. This is hilarious. Ruffle. Word that, Stunt. Mach and I are joining? What? Word that, Stunt, Mach and I are joining us out. This is just too funny. I've received multiple requests for interviews. And you should do it. You don't understand. The deal with Enoch wasn't official. This is going to screw us. Hey. I didn't mention Enoch by name. Just finish the deal and we'll be fine. Yeah, what's stopping that Kim dude from signing us? Axel is kind of right. We have a buzz going on now. They're saying I poached you. Couldn't you have gotten back at your coach some other way? Nope, and I'll get back at him more when I stomp Crash in Team League. It will be prudent to speak with Mr. Kim as soon as possible, Jet. I know! Ugh. Okay. We're meeting at Namdon ASAP, the park by the VSL studio. Everyone, no exceptions. KK lol. Like, Stunt is just a typical teenager that's online, but you just sort of don't expect a person like that to be in in a visual novel like this, right? And not only that, because I can sort of relate myself in a way to that as well. Because normally when I just talk with other people online and I'm just, you know, chatting with friends, I sort of speak in a lot of the internet slang acronyms as well, like oh my god, ruffle, LOL, LMAO, all that stuff. The diamond next to Jet's portrait changes from green to black. Axel quickly follows suit and then Stunt, leaving me in the chat room alone with Reva. Be fast. Jet'll blow up your phone with text otherwise. I will. Goodbye. With nothing else keeping me at home, I hurry to shut off my PC and dress. I take the stairs of my apartment building 2 at a time and make my way onto the street. What a mess. How terrible would it be to have spent all of last night celebrating for nothing? Truth be told, whether Axel leaked the information now or let it come out on its own, we'd eventually get this reaction. Enoch wouldn't have signed us without doing proper background research anyway. Maybe it's alright for us to be out in the open ahead of time. I set those thoughts aside when the Namdam Park comes into view, the crowded tree line and trimmed green is a welcome departure from Seoul's endless concrete. Jet didn't specify where at the park she wanted us to meet, but it doesn't take long before I find her staring down a seated Axel. She's in the middle of chewing him out, though it'd be hard to tell by the grin he's wearing. Have you seen what they're saying online? The team has to stand out somehow. Better this than limping into the scene and wallowing in obscurity. Like, I kind of agree. Just from a purely PR standpoint, this is a brilliant move by Axel. The question is if it's going to pay off or not, because it is quite risky. We should stand out by winning games, not by stirring up shit. This wasn't your decision to make. Axel's the first to notice my arrival and waves me over. Jet's acknowledgement follows, though it's far less welcoming. Did you know he was going to pull something like this? What? No. Relax, Jet. Seriously. Worrying will give you gray hairs. Yeah, good job. Say that to a girl. I'll relax the moment that I'm staring at a contract for 6 months of funding. Jet's stance goes rigid after the buzz on her phone. She rips it out of her pockets and stares at the screen. Who is it? It's Mr. Kim. He wants us to meet at the Enoch office to sort out this mess. That's a good thing, right? He wouldn't bother to have us come out if the answer is going to be no. She doesn't seem to agree, given the time it takes her to reply. I share a glance with Axel before Jet shoves the phone back into her pocket and turns to me. We need to get moving. Axel, wait here for Stunt and Reva. Fine by me. Axel takes in a deep breath and returns to his bench, no doubt happy to relax while someone else handles the stress of a meeting. I'm coming with you? I'm not enough of a jerk to leave Stunt and Reva alone at the park for an hour, but I need someone at my back. When you put it that way, alright. Then come on, it's not that far. Without a moment to spare, Jet storms off. Axel offers me a leisurely wave as I hurry after her. Alright, let's do this. Let's bring the sponsorship in. Let me do most of the talking, but chime in if it makes sense. Alright. Nervous? No, don't lie to me. I'm nervous. It's fine to be nervous. I'm fine. When the elevator door opens, a well-dressed Enoch employee greets us with a smile and gestures down the hall. Mr. Kim has been anticipating your arrival. This way, please. Holy crap, look at this boardroom. I follow Jet through a typical corporate office. Inside, a table seats Mr. Kim. His attention sits on a laptop. He glances past the screen to acknowledge us with a beckon forward. Jet, Mach, please, sit. We take our seats opposite him. The secretary closes the boardroom's door, leaving the three of us on our own. After a few more taps on his laptop screen, Mr. Kim turns the computer towards us and gestures sharply to it. What is it? Or what is this? He says. On display is the comment section of a popular Korean eSports news site. Line after line portrays Jet and Axel as shady and unskilled. And I thought that the English sites were bad. Before I can read another comment, Mr. Kim forces the laptop shut with a grimace. When I spoke of my interest to sponsor your team with the board, most were hesitant to take the risk, even with my assurance that the investment would be worth it in the end. Given the recent developments, I'll simply have to retract my recommendation and take the hit to my reputation. Your team has become a liability without having played a single game. He rests a finger on his brow, expressing fraud. This is worse than Jet and I planned for. Do you have anything to say? This wasn't the reaction that we were hoping for, but it shows that people are paying attention to us. Not all attention created is equal. What is most important is that an Enoch team has a large number of supporters, not slack-jawed or passive observers, fans that are invested in the team's victory. You'll immediately have 5 people invested in an Enoch squad if you sign us. Through narrowed eyes, Mr. Kim shifts his eyes in my direction. Mach, I should say that you are a large part of the doubt plaguing a possible sponsorship deal. Oh, that's scary. I blink once, taken aback. Me? Are you truly surprised? Your ability is completely unproven. While Axel and Jet may have their integrity questioned, it's you whom the fans mock. If our fanbase doesn't have faith in your ability to win games, then of what use are you? Yeah, but that's the thing, like, people, the quote-unquote fans, are questioning because they haven't seen him play, right? So those people are just basically only making assumptions. So the only way to get rid of those assumptions is to just by let us playing, right? Let us play and then bam, we'll break those assumptions. What? I'm a good player. I just need time to prove it. Time that you haven't earned. I hear myself tripping over my next protest. Right then, Jet cuts in. Mr. Kim, there must be something that we can do. Axel and I are high profile. Even with a rocky start, we both have loyal fans that will follow us to a new team. That may be so, but the public perception of Mach remains an issue. Is it worth the trouble of keeping him on when your reputation has been compromised? He links his fingers together and glances between the two of us, awaiting an answer. Jet closes her eyes and runs a hand through her hair. She takes a long moment to decide on what to say next, much to Mr. Kim's interest. Like, this is sort of the thing, right? Jet could easily say, yeah, okay, we'll ditch the foreign guy and just find a good Korean player, and then they have a pretty decent team as well. So it's kind of scary to be myself / Mach in this situation. We could arrange something to fix that. Oh? Elaborate. A show match. The perfect chance to showcase Mach's ability to compete. Oh, I like this. Against someone from your team? Fans will assume that the match is fixed on his behalf. No, I have someone else in mind. Someone who StarCraft fans know and respect. And that Mach owes a beating. Bolt! Fuck yeah, I know it's gonna be Bolt. She turns towards and locks eyes with me. Is she talking about a show match with Bolt? I mean, you're not allowed to turn this down. I wasn't planning on it. Just, how are you going to get him to agree? I know Bolt will. He'll jump at the chance to publicly humiliate someone he doesn't like. A best of 5 will do nicely, and I think it would be fair for Enoch to put half a month's worth of team's funding in as a prize. Wouldn't you say? Jet turns away from me and towards Mr. Kim. For the first time since we stepped into the room, the businessman cracks a smile. If you ever decide to leave StarCraft behind, you are welcome to interview for any open sales positions at Enoch, Jet. That's good to know. Job security even after eSports. Very well. If Mach is victorious in the show match, I will consider your team's reputation redeemed. I don't bother asking what will happen if I lose. God, what did I do to deserve this pressure? Would you mind speaking with the producers at the VSL studio to see if they'd be willing to host us? A week from today is short notice, but we don't have any longer to waste. I'll have it done. You're very lucky to have someone like Jet as your team captain, Mach. When I don't respond, he smirks. Satisfied, Kim rises from his leather office chair. Jet and I quickly follow suit and exchange handshakes with him. As he meets his palm with mine, Mr. Kim leans forward and whispers to me, what is he gonna say? You suck. For the record, I would greatly prefer to see you succeed. Don't let a mistake in the next week end your career before it's begun. Scary words, but he's definitely right. Nonchalantly, he parts from our grip and departs the conference room with long strides. His secretary skitters after him down the hallway, leaving Jet and me to find our own way back to the elevator. Well, you came to Golden Zone Fire looking for a chance. Now you've got one. Happy? You stuck up for me. Yes, and? I I guess I thought you'd have done what was best for the team. Who said I'm not? Mr. Kim? I don't recall putting him in charge of team management. What kind of team captain would I be if I tossed you out onto the street after recruiting Stunt and Reva? I don't know. You said yourself that you wouldn't put the goals of a friendship ahead of the goals of your team. Oh, in that case, it's not too late for me to go tell Mr. Kim I've changed my mind. If you insist on paying me back, do so by practicing hard and beating the shit out of Bolt. It's been way too long since I've seen him lose in person. And, for the record, I know what I said, but the more I think about it, the more messed up it seems that we'd waste our careers with people we hate. So, for now, I've decided that I like you. Don't make me regret that. So much for cold efficiency. I'll do my best, as is expected of anyone that wears my team's colors. Now come on, before someone mistakes Axel for a bum. Just before the elevator door closes, Mr. Kim turns the corner of his office and watches us go. My legs are sore by the time we make it back to Namdam. Weeks of huddling up in my apartment obviously hasn't been great for my personal fitness. I catch sight of Stunt by his wild hair. He's the first to notice Jet and me and calls at us with a wave. Yo! Is the team dead? Not yet, and not for a while if our plan works out. Axel sits up from his reclined position while Reva has hardly moved at all since she came into view. Plan? Mach is going to win a show match. Reva takes a hold of her glasses, gears visibly turning in her head as she works out the point of a show match. Axel and Stunt simply look to me for the answer. Mr. Kim agreed to us if we can redeem the team's image. I have to win a series against Bolt. Bolt? That's surely Protoss on Shock? He's a Brood War player though. He plays Star 2 on his own time, with money and a chance to accept or to embarrass a foreigner on the line. He has to accept. And you're okay with this, Mach? Axel glances in my direction, genuine concern etched in his expression. He seems to be picking up on the doubt I'm feeling. Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm going to practice as hard as I can for the next week. As will Bolt. I don't have anything to say to that. She's right after all. The five of us take a moment to reflect on the severity of the situation. Gradually, I find the eyes of my teammates drifting towards me. I clean the sweat from my palms and steady... Why did this freaking Eminem song, Mom Spaghetti, pop into my head now? God damn it. I clean the sweat from my palms and steady myself with a breath. I'm sure that I can handle this, but not all on my own. Obviously, listen, if he's a Protoss, I'm down to grind out endless games. You and me, Mach. Bolt's play has more depth than proxies and one base all-ins. Do you have a better idea? What the hell would he get out of practicing with a Terran or a Zerg? Stunt pulls out his phone and dons a stubborn expression. Jet rolls her eyes and glances past him. Everyone has a role to play in making sure that this team lives on past the botched show match. Stunt winces and then glances begrudgingly in the young Protoss's direction. Be the only one of us that plays Protoss is enough to spar with Mach. But this is still a group effort. Axel, you get to test out your coaching chops. He raises a thumbs up without bothering to stand up. You know it. Reva, work with Mach on openings and strategies, and I'll see what I can do to get my hands on a few of Bolt's replays. Affirmative. We don't have any time to waste. Bolt's going to be preparing for this match with the KPGA regimen. Think you can handle 14 hours a day, Mach? I don't need to practice long. I just need to practice smart. You need to do both. Yeah, she's right. It's only for a week anyway. The idea of 14 hours of high-level StarCraft is enough to make my wrists sore. Still, I have to live up to my team's expectations, And that's the thing about esports as well, because especially mainly Asian teams, but especially Korean teams, regardless of the sort of esports game that they play, just the level of dedication and hard work and this sort of environment with all the team houses that they live in just makes them practice so hard, and they are used to these harsh routines of 14 hours a day of practice. Whereas in Europe, America, that's just not the standard, which is usually why Asian teams / Korean teams end up dominating certain scenes. But it's not always that way, of course, but it's usually, if that happens, it's mainly because of this part. Alright, do we start tonight? Obviously. Jet stares enough to get him to spit it out. I kinda, maybe sort of promised my mom that I'd make up all the chores I've been skipping out on at our PC bang. Look, I thought the team was definitely over, okay? We're StarCraft players. Don't pretend you guys don't know the importance of time efficiency. I need to start smoothing things over with her if I'm going to move out. Come on, don't look at me like that. Useless. Whatever. We'll meet up at Golden Zone Fire tomorrow, and every day after that up until the show match. Mach, just ladder tonight. Right. Reva, you free? They've become like BFFs now. Yes, why do you ask? Oh, never mind. I thought she was like, Reva, come with me. Go with Mach and watch him ladder for the rest of the day. See if you can pick up any holes in his play. The command seemed to catch Reva off guard. She looks at the ground, at me, and then back at the ground. Very well. I've got to go confirm with the schedule with Bolt, among other things. With me, Axel. Should have guessed. Right then. Stunt, go handle your bullshit. Golden Zone Fire tomorrow morning. Go. Everyone, go. Axel peels himself off of the bench and falls in line, besides Jet. Stunt is quick to follow, though he turns out of the park in a different direction. I share a glance with Reva and scratch behind my head. Hello. I was actually planning on going back to my apartment if I'm just going to ladder. Oh, should I return home? No. Why don't you meet me there in an hour? You won't need to stay long. I don't think. It's hard not to seem awkward about the proposal. Even the normally inexpressive Reva has trouble answering casually. Very well. I will run an errand in the meantime. After sharing the location of my apartment with a map from my phone, I bid her farewell. Reva fades along with Green of Namdan when I trace back the path I took this morning. My glazed over eyes remain locked with the pavement as I amble my way home. I know that I should feel relieved that our team still has a chance of coming together, but I can't help but worry. I'm not carrying around the weight of my failed attempts to qualify for the VSL anymore. This is different. It's anxiety. A tightness in my chest that threatens to strangle me if I let everyone down. I don't know what I expected. It's not like it's going to get easier here from here on anyway. Every week in a team league, there'll be a chance to cost my team a loss. More than anything else, I'm frustrated by Mr. Kim's doubt. It's one thing for my friends and parents to misunderstand me, but Mr. Kim made an informed judgment that I'm not worth the trouble. I jam my fist into my pocket and exhale deeply. If I ever doubted that esports was brutal, I don't any longer. Short as the walk is, I don't find my nerves calming as I settle into my pace. A pack of energy drinks might help me douse my angst, so I decide to cut a detour that'll take me past Go-Mart. I should probably pick something up for Reva too. It'd be pretty classless move to let her watch me grind out ladder games without offering anything in return. Alright, we're gonna end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video. I don't know if it's gonna be the show match already or just, you know, the setup to it where we're practicing with Reva, but yeah, exciting times ahead. Like, this is our chance. Like, sure, Mr. Kim doubted us, but that doubt, especially as a motivated pro gamer should fuel you to want to perform better, to practice harder. So let's see if we're gonna use that motivation to our advantage. So yeah, see you in the next video. Peace.